They say idle hands are the devil's playground. Anton Tobias makes that saying literal. While he spent his youth fully committed to goblin mode, his right hand picked up a little hobby.
Murder most heinous.
Tonight, we revisit a late 90s cult classic to answer a few important questions. Does Idle Hands actually deserve its cult reputation?
Ooh. Oh, ew.
Did Jessica Alba have the horror acting chops? And possibly the most important question of them all, what the hell is under that bed? What's up, creeps? Welcome to The Laughing Dead, your friendly stranger on the internet offering that delicious cult horror candy.
Well, this video is definitely getting age restricted.
I'm your host, Ethan, and in this episode, we're picking apart a horror comedy so sweet, so tasty, it'll rot your teeth. Idle Hands hit theaters in April of '99, and boy, did it flop. The movie only grossed $4 million worldwide on a $25 million budget, and that's $25 million in 1990s dollars. The worst part is, the movie's failure can be chalked up mostly to bad timing. Just a week before the premiere, two stupid losers committed a mass murder at Columbine High School. So I understand why Columbia Pictures tried to dump Idle Hands down the memory hole. They canceled the premiere, abruptly ended the marketing campaign, and by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why. So with no further ado, The Laughing Dead is proud to review Idle Hands. Let's get into it. The movie opens on the peace and serenity of suburban America and the inane conversations held by boomers late at night.
What the heck is a cornucopia?
But tonight's not your average evening, folks. Tonight, there's someone under the bed! Ah, gotcha. Must just be a prank by their asshole son, Anton. And it's gotta be rough, right? Knowing for sure that your son's an asshole? I'll have to ask my parents. Before long, Anton's parents hear a strange noise downstairs. Dad goes to investigate, leaving Mom upstairs to have a full-on nervous breakdown. Funny thing though, Mr. Tobias never comes back. And when the missus goes looking, well, she finds out why. In a panic, she runs back to the bedroom, fumbles with the phone, but quickly finds herself splashed across the hardwood floor. Fast forward to the next day, and we're introduced to Anton and his morning routine. With Rancid blasting through the headphones, Lucky Charms ain't the only bowl on Anton's table. Before he can settle into the brain rot of his beloved cable cartoons, though, it's empty, man. So it's to the streets. Anton must be in a rush because my boy left the house without his pants. He don't care though, he's got shit to do. After a quick jaunt through the neighborhood, Anton lands at his buddy's house, where we meet Penub and Mickey, played by Eldon Henson and Seth Green before he became licensed property of Adult Swim. They're all kicking back, giving Anton shit for being too lazy for pants, when he casually mentions that he hasn't seen his parents in, like, a while.
Party at Anton's. What are you doing?
The boys are shocked. It's gotta be the killer that Anton's never heard of.
Don't you watch the news? I hate that fucking show.
See, their little town of Bolin, California is in the national spotlight. Serial murder has reached their fair town and the body count is ever climbing. Before they can say much more, they're interrupted by the sound of an engine outside. A sound Anton knows well. It's Molly. Anton spies his crush through the window and notices that she dropped her precious lyric book on the pavement. This is his chance. Quick like a bunny, he pulls on a pair of Penub's pants and jets over to return it. But when she answers the door in all her glory, Anton completely chokes. He loses his cool, runs away. Next, we're brought to Beaver, Utah, where Sister Debbie is hot on the trail of a demonic force. But all she finds is a corpse with a fucking raisin hand. Empty glove syndrome, I think they call that. This leaves Debbie one step behind, as usual. She does discover the murders make a sweet pentagram. Well, except for a couple outliers. But either way, oh shit is right. She's headed to Bolin, baby. Back at Anton's house, he's just been living his best life. A nutmeg and oregano are on deck. I guess today's the day he learns that shit does not work. Safe to say though, the absence of his parents hasn't really set in. That is, until he gets those nutmeg munchies and tries to make a bologna sandwich. The blood on the knife finally clues Anton in that there might be something seriously wrong here. And if the bloody knife didn't do it, the fucking eyeball on the floor ought to drive it home. Anton finally reacts. With a blind panic, he sprints around the house, convinced the killer's gonna pop out at any moment and get him. In his haste, Anton's clumsy ass knocks over the scarecrows, revealing the bodies of his parents. And how he did not smell that, I'll never know. But he smells it now, boy. He's out front puking his guts out when Penub and Mickey arrive, and it takes them, about 5 seconds to figure out that Anton is the killer. The evidence is all over the house.
I'm the killer.
When Mick calls the cops, the Hand is forced to intervene. Anton is just along for the ride now, a helpless passenger as the Hand savagely murders his best friends. First Mick with a broken bottle, then poor Penub with a well-placed saw blade frisbee move.
Cool.
Anton is crashing out at this point. He just can't seem to calm down. He tries his favorite remedy, classic cartoons on the living room couch, but that damn demon hand only watches horror. It's my kind of dude right there. Makes me wonder if my hand is demonic. When Anton finally wins the battle of the remote, poor Bones here takes the blowback. No animals were harmed in the making of Idle Hands. The cat lands safely in Molly's yard, and Anton is quick to run after it. When he approaches Molly's house, the hand takes over again, and I gotta take a moment to recognize Devin Sawa here. He does an outstanding job of battling his own hand in this film, and I think that Bruce Campbell would be proud. Molly answers the door, and what follows is a steamy teen makeout session that felt a lot less awkward back in the day.
You're kiki.
Thankfully, the parents get home and break up the party, sending Anton home with blue balls. Molly tells him to come back at 7 tomorrow night to pick her up for the dance. He's like, well, that was nice. Guess I'll go bury my friends and parents in a mass grave now. He does manage a halfway decent eulogy at least.
Really sorry.
Once that's all taken care of, I assume Anton is anxious to get back to doing nothing. Then he hears muffled groaning from beneath the dirt. Mick and Penub are back from the grave. Rookie mistake, Anton. Everybody knows you dig at least 6 feet deep. Too shallow and you got neighborhood dogs, suspicious smells, and in this case, pissed off zombies. And sure, you could say their reunion was a little rocky to start. Knocking your friend out with a shovel isn't always the best way to go. But the boys quickly get over their grudge and get back to what matters, a drug-induced vegetative state. Unfortunately, events have gone way too far to simply smoke their problems away. Anton has got to get active. First, he tries hitting up the neighbor Randy. They figure he's got to know all about this devil shit. He listens to that devil music. But all Randy has is basic dad advice.
The trick is to keep yourself busy. That's why I'm always working on the board.
I thought you were cool, man. So that's it. Having tried exactly one thing, Anton gives up, goes back home. Before long, though, Mick's 911 call brings the boys in blue. They peek in the window at the Dahmer-esque scene in the living room and immediately kick in the front door. Anton wants to give himself up, end this madness before he can kill again. But the hand could never let that happen. It slaughters the cops like all the others. And at this point, Anton is fed up. It's time to take desperate measures. After a highly satisfying display of slapstick whack-a-mole, the hand is liberated. All the while, Sister Debbie's on her way driving like a damn maniac. They randomly cut in just to remind us that she's a-coming. And she's in a hurry. She better get there soon though, these boys are totally hopeless. The zombie twins release the hand from the microwave, and Anton is off headed to the dance, clearly thinking with the wrong head. In a moment of clarity, Anton bails on Molly and returns to check on his now missing hand. And so begins our final act. The hand is on the loose and killing with impunity. These horny teenagers never had a chance. The horny school principal
Got me so hot.
dick torn off. And I'm not even sure that'll kill you right away, but it sure kills the shit out of this guy. Just in the nick of time, Demon Hunter Debbie rolls into town and conveniently runs into the one person who can get this movie's climax into full swing, Randy. Her drive and determination, combined with his stink of sexual desperation and basic knowledge of Anton, creates a dynamic duo I've named R&D. And no, they ain't here to do research and development, unless we're talking about developing a severe case of whiplash. There are some additional little plot points that are worth mentioning, like Penub getting his head strapped back on, and the boys stealing Randy's precious Ford, and nearly taking out Debbie in the process. But it all comes to a head at the school dance. Molly's already there, just sad dancing by herself when the boys arrive. For some reason, Anton goes looking for her in the halls and shit. She's obviously gonna be on the dance floor. Dude needs to cut back on the green stuff, I think. But whatever, Mickey and Penub are in the right spot, but with the wrong intentions.
Oh God, that's disgusting.
So when the hand scalps Dexter Holland of The Offspring and drops a whole light rig onto the dancing high schoolers below, we realize how important it can be to stay on task. The shit hits the fan. And remember what I said in the beginning? This scene specifically is why Columbia Pictures panicked. A horror comedy where teenagers are butchered inside a high school, played almost entirely for laughs. Arriving just days after Columbine, there's just simply no world where that marketing campaign was gonna survive. It just became impossible to sell. But anyways, most of the kids stampede the hell out of there, leaving only our main cast. Molly follows Satan into the air ducts, and Anton has it out with R&D. It only takes him showing them his disgusting stump to save his life. Debbie still must find that hand, which is currently tied up splashing devil girl Tanya all over the art room and knocking Molly out cold. See, the hand does in fact have motivation besides mass murder. It needs a pure and virtuous soul to offer up, and thus open a portal to hell for the devil to reign supreme in the human world. And I guess Molly is close enough.
You're kiki.
So the hand ties her to a car in the auto shop class, I guess he's gonna smush her into that pentagram on the ceiling. I don't know the rules here. Luckily, the boys intervene by clam baking the hand, now occupying a puppet for some reason, and he loses all motivation to bring hell on earth. Debbie busts in, hucks her dagger, and poof! No more demon hand. Kinda anticlimactic if I'm being honest. From here, it's a bit of a cheesy, happy ending. Molly is saved, but the car falls on Anton, opening the pearly gates. Mick and Penub are finally ready to ascend, but Anton stays so he can be with Molly. In the final scene, we're shown Anton in a body cast. Molly by his side. Mick and Penub are even there, as Anton's guardian angels and dedicated pranksters. Final thoughts. At the beginning of this video, I asked whether Idle Hands actually deserves its cult reputation, and after revisiting it, I genuinely think it does. Now don't get me wrong, this movie's kind of a mess. There's absurd impossibilities, like cooking a guy to death with a taser, massive plot holes like Anton apparently facing 0 consequences for killing 15 plus people because, you know, happy ending, and the messaging is all over the place. The demon specifically chooses Anton because he's the laziest stoner it can find, and then the heroes ultimately stop the apocalypse by getting the demon hands so baked that it loses all ambition. It's pretty damn funny, but not much of a moral guide built in here.
Devil.
But here's the thing. Cult classics aren't remembered because they're flawless. They're remembered because they're memorable. Idle Hands throws together Raimi-style, slapstick stoner comedy, zombie best friends with teenage romance, punk rock and demonic possession, and somehow convinces you all of these ingredients belong in the same movie.
Actually working!
And of course, young Jessica Alba, proving she had those horror chops long before most people knew her name. And so yeah, I think Idle Hands has earned its place as a bona fide cult classic. If you had a good time tonight, smash that like button and subscribe for more horror breakdowns. In the meantime, keep them scary flicks rolling. And remember, if you laugh when others scream, you found your home. This has been The Laughing Dead. Thanks for hanging out.
Look at me, I'm Leatherface!